Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, ladies and gentlemen. I've made a little bit of progress with the pod filter housings in behind the brake ducts here on either side of the front bar. Let's go and have a look at my cardboard creation. This is in behind that brake duct on my driver's side here, the right hand side of the car, being a right hand drive vehicle. You can see what we're doing there. We're closing in that area just so that the air that goes into this area to feed this pod filter and then on into the turbo doesn't leak air everywhere and rush back into the engine bay and down under the car and whatnot. So you can see that's this side, just sort of roughed out in cardboard. We'll go around and have a look at the other side. It's a bit uglier looking because I'm working backhand over that side and there's not a lot of room, so it's a bit more shag looking than this side. That's the other side one there, folks. Like I say, it's just a cardboard creation at the moment, and what we'll do is I'll get the front bar off, have a bit of a look at it from the other side, tidy it up a bit, and then hopefully we'll be able to start working in some aluminium sheet and make the real thing up. Righto, let's get this bar off. Right, folks, bar's off. As you can see, doesn't look like much at the moment other than someone's crazed masking tape paper mache bloody nightmare, but believe me, it'll shape up alright. Once I get it off the car, I can sort of shore it all up and have a good look at it and work out exactly what needs to be done with it before it's actually made out of aluminium. Same deal on the other side over here. This one's a bit not a lot of places to hold this one up with at the moment. It needs more mounting flanges. I've been fortunately able to use the washer fluid reservoir on the other side to sort of hold it up a bit better while I was taping all the pieces together. So she's a bit floppy, but it'll still be alright. So next thing to do, folks, is get these things off now, get them on the bench and you know, have a good look at them and see what's right about them, see what's wrong with them, make more measurements, probably refit the inner guards, have another look at them, all that sort of stuff. And just really fine tune the shape until I'm happy that it's good enough as a prototype for me then to redo it in aluminium. But the shape's roughly there. I'm not 100% happy with them at the moment. They definitely need more work, but you can see where I'm heading with it, folks. So out they come. So this is one of the air boxes, folks, out on the bench now. It's the driver's side one. And you can see what it is, just a bloody cardboard box and masking tape creation. And I'm about to try and reproduce this out of aluminium. So what I've done, I've sat it down like so on some aluminium sheet and just marked around it with a Sharpie. And there's 4 sides to the thing. And so there's our 4 pieces marked out. Sure if you can see that real well on the camera, but they're marked out on there. I'm just about to go and cut them out on the bandsaw. And there we go, folks. Our pieces are this guy. They're all cut out. So what I'll do now is I'll sort of stand these up. I think I'm possibly going to have to put tacks on these. You would have noticed with the last piece that I did, like the washer bottle reservoir, that I used masking tape to put it together. This is sort of an open shape. It's a little bit hard. It's not going to support itself with tape, so I think I'm going to have to put some tack welds in the corner of these. But that's okay. So I'll get a few tacks on this and I'll give you a bit of a look at it once it's tacked together, and it should be starting to resemble this guy. Alrighty, I'll set up the welder, get some tacks on this, and we'll have another look at it. Right, folks, I'm back in handheld mode. So this is our piece there, all those pieces that we just chopped out, all tacked together. You can see, that's that guy in sheet aluminium. I've given it just sort of a quick fit up on the car here, but I've got a little bit of an issue with me lift at the moment. So I'm having to do a bit of fit up work on the ground, which kind of really sucks, but you know, that's the way it is. So what I think I'll do, folks, I think I'll fully weld this out and get my hoist sorted out so I can actually get the bloody hoist up. and do a little bit more fit up with this. But I've got it fitted up enough that I'm quite confident in the fact that I can weld it out and not really have any issues with it. And if I do, well, I'm a goose and I'll pay the price. But I think it should be pretty right. So I'll get the welder back onto this and hopefully I'll get my hoist sorted out. Alrighty, I'll be back. Welcome back, folks. Bit of an update. This piece is all pretty much fully welded now. There are a couple of bits and pieces that need to happen to it. I have to create a little bit of a recess just here for where the washer motor sits, just because the outlet and the hose sort of interferes a little bit here. They both want the same bit of real estate, so I can quite easily just sort of create a little bit of a recess here for it to sit in, so they just don't kind of hate each other. On another note, I've also finished the windshield washer fluid reservoir. Here it is here, folks. You can see I've got this piece welded in on the top there now, and the original filler neck is mounted in position, and it just works as per factory, just with that the O-ring seal that it does from the factory. Like the plastic piece has the same sort of a neck, and it just goes down with the O-ring in there. Mine's actually probably a little tiny bit tighter than the original plastic piece was, but you can see, folks, motor's in. This is perfect. It mounts up and this lines up perfectly and everything. There's no sort of forcing it to make it work. It's all worked out kind of really good. So yeah, a bit of an update. I'm about to, like I say, do this little recess in here. And this is the reason why this is. There's not a lot of room between the outlet for the hose, and it, like, really the only way you can do it is kind of kink the hose. So I'm just going to create a little bit of a recess there, so the hose has got a little bit of room to put a bend in it without sort of forcing it too much. That's no drama. I'll just cut a piece out, make a little pocket and weld it in. So that's the next little sort of a thing that I'm doing, folks. And then it's more just fitting this up. This side's going to be closed off. I'm pretty sure now I've decided I'm going to close this side off and maybe put some sort of flat returns on these things, just to give the edge a little bit more strength, and also be able to fit some foam tape to it so it seals up against the plastic inner guard better, and possibly put a couple of tabs so I can bolt through the plastic inner guard, just to stop it possibly ballooning from the pressure that this is going to generate from being closed off. So I'll carry on, folks, and I'll hit the camera again when there's something else done. Beauty. Alright, folks, I'm back. A bit more done now. Actually, they're pretty much finished, bar the painting. So as you can see, all the fit-up's been finished. They're fitting real nice against the wheel arches. You can see there's rib nuts mounted into the washer bottle that I've built there. So it all sort of bolts in up really nice and tight, as you can see. That's not going anywhere. I'll just take the camera over so you can peer in and have a bit of a look at the sort of flange arrangement inside. You can see they're all sort of, there's a big flange right around the back edge so that we can put some foam tape against it, so it'll all seal up real nice against the inner guard in there. Actually, I'll take this guy off and bring it back to the bench and we can have a bit of a look at it. One on this side's done as well. As you can see there, folks, it's in the same state. It's just about finished. And at this stage, folks, I think I'm going to leave the brake ducting in these sections for a while. I want to have a little bit more of a think about it before I go doing it. At this stage, I'll just want to get all this finished and get it buttoned up, get it on the car and test it all out and stuff, and make sure everything here is 100%, which I'm pretty confident that it is. Alright, I'll get this guy off and we'll have a bit of a look at it on the bench. So there it is, folks. This is the driver's side one. So what haven't we covered? Okay, that's the little recess I made where the wiper squirter motor went from the washer reservoir, and you know, the hose was sort of interfering, just so that it didn't have sort of as sharp a kink in it. It can just sort of roll in there quite easily. And as you can see, it's all welded up. Last time you saw it, it didn't have this side panel on it, and it also wasn't all fitted up. There's a hell of a lot of work in fitting this up, folks, to work on, you know, both sides, to work perfectly with the front bar and also work perfectly with the inner guard. Believe me, there is hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I don't want to tell you how long it took me to do this because I'm a bit embarrassed, but it was a long time to get it perfect, and I'm pretty happy it is perfect. But yeah, a lot of work. So as I say, I've put a piece of a bit of flat aluminium welded on the back of these. That's so that when it goes together, I can put some foam tape on there so it'll seal real nice up against the inner guard. There's also a hole in here for one of these, where are we? I've just got it set up for a plastic push pin, you know, like the inner guard has, to hold it all in. So you can just basically use plastic push pins as you do with the whole inner guard section. So if you need to perform any maintenance on the pod filters, you know, either take them out and clean them or replace them or anything, it's just a matter of removing the plastic inner guard, which is, you know, about half a dozen plastic push pins and a couple of bolts, and you should be good to go. So that's why I've done it that way, and it's all turned out really well, folks. I'm really happy with it. The pod filters fit in there really well. As you can see, they just go in and just sort of sit in there like that. The size and the shape works really well. They're right up against the front, and it's just a good fit, you know. So that's great. And I'll just do a quick bolt up with the windscreen washer fluid reservoir, folks, just to see how the whole thing just goes together. It's you know, it's quite a thing when it's all assembled. So that's it there, just roughly, folks. As you can see, there's a hell of a lot more fixing points for it all the way around into here and everything. But as a unit, it's quite the thing that I've sort of created here. So that's our custom fabricated windshield washer reservoir, and also our custom fabricated pod filter enclosures. So as I say, this is the drive side. Passenger side doesn't have this on it. It's just the unit itself. And once I get it all sorted out, at some point I will carry on with the whole brake duct setup in this unit here, which I think is going to go into this lower section down in here and have some sort of a thing. That's what I haven't worked out yet, folks. I think I need to put a bit of time into nutting it out, just so that I don't bugger anything up. So all this area is pretty much finished now, folks. The big thing left to do with it all is paint it. So what I'll do, I'll set up outside, throw a bit of etch primer on it, and give it a coat of satin black like I've been doing with all the other bits in the front there, just so that it all sort of disappears once it's all bolted in. I don't really like the look of plain aluminium. All fine and funky if you've got a race car, but this isn't a race car, it's a street car. I just don't like shit being real obvious, you know, which is why I've gone for the whole stealth approach with the whole vehicle. Basically, from the exterior of this car, it just looks like a stock standard 370 GT or G37. Really, the only clues are the fact that it's got R-compound tyres on it. You know, if you know your stuff and you look real careful at it, you can sort of get the gist of what's going on, but you've really got to know what you're looking at, folks. So yeah, once again, I don't want people to be able to peer through in the brake duct area down here and see shiny aluminium or anything. So these are all going to be painted on the inside as well, and just, yeah, the whole thing just to give it that stealthy look. Alright, folks, I'll do some painting. Alright, folks, we're all set up out here. We've got our etch primer on. We've got our first mist coat of black. I'm about to hit it with a decent coat. I actually filmed the first coat, but yeah, I didn't push record. What a goose. Alright. There we go, folks, done and dusted. We'll let that all dry off real nice and we'll go and fit it up and have a bit of a look. Welcome back, folks. It's the next day now, the paint's all dry. I'm just finishing these up. You can see here I'm just on the bench putting the foam tape on the back of these. It's got some tubing slid around where the intercooler pipe comes through, and this one is just about ready to bolt up. Now I already have the windshield washer reservoir bolted up in position. It's sitting pretty up there, and I'll just quickly bolt up the pod filter enclosure, folks, and I'll give you another look at it. There we have it, folks. She's all bolted up now, and sitting there very nice. You can see how beneficial this this cutout for the windshield washer feed pipe was there. It just allows that hose to sit, you know, on a nice curve without actually interfering with the pod filter enclosure. And looking at it from the back side, you can see it's all, you know, it's all pretty sweet looking. You can notice up there the factory filler neck going into the washer fluid reservoir, sitting in there as per factory and lines up perfectly at the top. So this bit of fabrication is just about finished up now, folks. So what I might do is throw the front bar on and just give you one last look from the inside before it all goes back together for good. Alrighty. Right, folks, just a quick squiz in the back here before I put the inner guard back on. You can see we line up perfectly there with the opening in the front bar, the faux brake duct, and you can see how this is going to work really well with that plastic inner fender liner when it goes on. It sits really nice and neatly against this. It all snugs up really well, folks. It's a very, very nice, nice sort of a seal. So I think that pretty much brings this to a close, folks. Just trying to think if there's anything I haven't told you guys about any of this. I don't think so. It's all looking pretty good. I did mention there's some drain holes in the bottom corners. There's one there and one there in these things, just in case you're worried about them filling up with water or anything like that. So they're all sort of pretty good. So other than sorting out the actual brake ducting, the front's pretty much finished as far as airflow and everything goes. There is one thing that I have to start getting my head around now, and that is I'm going to be building a new crash bar / tow bar for the front. As you'd be aware, you generally remove all that if you have to fit an intercooler in the car, because it just doesn't kind of fit unless you use, say, the Fast Intentions bar, which they can sort of supply you with. Other than that, you've got to get someone to fabricate it yourself, and it's a real pain in the ass. But now that I've got all this stuff in there, I don't want some tosser in a parking lot backing into the car, you know, doing bloody 5 kilometres an hour or something, and just smash all of this. There's so much work in it. So I need some parking lot protection and some low speed impact protection. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a custom fabrication of a unit for this one. So that's coming up in the future. So plenty of content for the channel, guys. And actually, on another note, I've gone and bought myself another car. Now, it's in a pretty sad state of affairs, and the reason I've got it is I've always had a bit of a soft spot, or some would say a hard spot, for these cars. So I've got hold of one. It's in pretty dilapidated condition, and I'm going to be doing a complete restoration, fabrication, all sorts of work on the thing. It's going to be quite a big project. It's going to take quite a while to do, but it's going to be engine out, you know, paint the engine bay, full respray, mechanical upgrades, interior upgrades, the whole kind of business. So next episode, folks, I'll be introducing the new build. Not that this thing's going anywhere. As I just mentioned, there's still a lot to do on this sort of thing, but now that I have another vehicle, there's going to be a ton of stuff that needs to be made for that. More tooling probably going on in here in the Aussie shed, and just all round fun shed stuff. So anyway, folks, if you want to see what the new car is, tune in next week to the Aussie Shed. So as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And remember to leave a comment. Nice to see a lot of you guys leaving comments on last week's video. It really helps with the search rankings in YouTube. And bloody hell, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.